wing. Ripped my wing. Alright, I'm gonna just quickly jump out of this quick mission because I'm gonna change some settings. I'm gonna turn the Spitfire's pilot model off because it's not animated to move with the... Okay. Interesting. I thought it was in the main menu, but apparently not. Oh, I think it's like a thing for all aircraft. I can't set it separately for the Spitfire. I seem to recall... Yeah, there it is. Okay. Is it fixed for me? I haven't tested the multiplayer server yet, but I'm going to guess no, because I saw nothing in the patch notes about the base engine. There were no engine changes, it was all just interface stuff in different modules. So I'm just mucking around on the Spitfire at the moment, trying to get a handle for it, get a feel for how it is in DCS. Once it's in the air, I'm usually pretty alright. I've just got to make sure I don't pull too hard. I do really miss having force feedback, I'll tell you that much. Hello, by the way, CJ. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, so, I really like the pilot body in the Spitfire. It's really well made. The problem is it's just in the way. If it was animated more like the Tomcats, it would be perfect. So we've got a pair of doors here to worry about. There's my wingman. I want to keep this guy off him because he's probably not going to be able to save himself, but the other guy's going to get on me if I'm not careful. Bit of a hit there on its wing. Hey, there we go. I think he's had it. Yeah, he's done. Where's the other one? Is that him or is that my wingman? That looks like a Dora. Those wings look pretty square to me. Yep, here he comes for a head-on pass. Through the merge. Gotta be careful, it's so easy to black out in the Spitfire. So easy. Oh, really? That was enough to rip my wing? Really? I keep doing that. I swear I'm not pulling back that hard, but that's about the third time it's happened. The first time was against Tawny, and now that's twice this morning I've done it. I don't know, maybe I'm going faster than I think, but that wasn't a particularly hard pull. I might have to adjust my curves again. Because the Spitfire is really sensitive in pitch. Really sensitive. But, I mean, I've already got a fairly aggressive curve on it. I might kind of desaturate it about 25%. We'll see how that goes. Because I shouldn't be able to pull hard enough to rip my own wings. And again, if I was using my old force feedback stick, assuming the motors weren't burnt out, I would not be able to physically pull that hard. The stick would not move. Because at high speed, the Spitfire loses a lot of control authority. Oops, that's the wrong button. I want to quit and then refly. Okay, we'll get our view set up, so I zoom my head position all the way back against the headrest and I bump it up slightly so I can see a little better over the cowling. We'll just get the field of view set because it bugs out when you pause the game. And that should be good. Hide the part of the body, kick the rudder over a bit, get some rudder trim on, because she's going to want to swing left as we put some power on. And there we go, there's the wingman. Here's the flight lead. Hits. Oh, well, he's got my wingman. That's okay, because he's having a bad day as well. He's not really making much of an effort to evade me. Oh, he's going down. Damage model on the World War II birds is kind of not actually that impressive. To be honest, they need some work. There's a number of reasons for that, which I'll go through in a bit once I'm no longer fighting for my life. I can't see this other guy. Come off the power, come off the RPM. He went under me. There he is. We have, oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So that needs fixing. I didn't even pull that. I tried to just gently roll out and the nose dropped for a second. I just insta-blacked out. That's even more broken than the fucking Mirage is. Well, let's try again. I want to get this until I can bag both of them without dying. Okay, zoom out, viewpoint, not that far, about there probably. Recenter track IR, get the field of view, and there we go. Wingman coming in. Looks like he's going to try and go for the guy that pulled onto me. And I'll try and keep this one off of him if I can. No, two! I'll avenge you. Right, well he's done. There's the other. And that's a shoot. I think that's the other 190 down there. Or it could be a wreck. Yeah, it looks like a wreck is going into the trees. There's the other guy. Let's see you follow that, buddy. It's going to be a head-on. Whoop. Oh, hello. Jeez. Got away from me a bit there. Not used to a Spitfire doing that. Now I've lost him. Into the overshoot. And the nose over. Ah, oh, didn't quite get him. That's a head-on. Here we go, this looks better. This looks much better. I'm not sure if I'm going to have the energy to follow him up though. He's just going to go vertical over and over probably, like the AI usually does. Oh, and he's into the sun. Yikes. Try and catch him as he comes down off this loop. Lost my engine. Am I out of fuel? Oh, I think I overheated it. Something. Well, that just cost me a chance at him. Now, I have been running in full combat power for a little bit longer than you're supposed to, but... lost him. The funny thing is, right before I started the stream, I did bag both of them without taking a single hit. And now I can't do it to save my life. No idea where he's gone. Don't see him above me, he's not behind me. There he is. He was behind me. Yeah, the engine's not doing so well. Uh-oh. Oil pressure? Could have been. Oh! That was rude! At least it got him too. That was very rude. At least they fixed the Spitfire now. It used to show a 109 wreck, now it actually shows the Spitfire. A very buggy Spitfire though. So anyway, to go through some of my issues with the damage models on these. It seems like they've kind of copped out a lot. For instance, if you happen to belly land, you'll notice the prop blades just kind of disappear. They don't bend or break or anything like in any other World War II sim. You'll see the prop blades shatter or bend. In this, they just disappear, and there's a lot of things like that. Like, it just feels like they've kind of skimped on the damage detail on the World War II aircraft. The Spitfire is also missing a bunch of features, like there's no like night illumination on the gauges. There should be. So it's a good module. It flies pretty well. It feels... It's hard to judge without the feedback from the aircraft, without force feedback stick or proper curves, because I haven't really set mine up very well. But just from the feel of it, it seems pretty close. I will say it's harder to fly the Spitfire in this than it is in any other sim I've played, including the full detail FSX Mark 1 and 2 that I fly from time to time. It handles really, really difficultly on the ground. Difficultly? Is that a word? It misbehaves on the ground in DCS. It's really hard to handle on the ground. And no amount of rudder seems to fix that, so it's something I've got to get used to. I do need to spend more time in it. Probably once I do get fully back into multiplayer, once hopefully they fix things, I want to get on Burning Skies a bit more. Well, a bit more. I've never been on there, but you know what I mean. Oh, we got people on Cold War, but we have no GCI. Alpenwolf's on. He's the server owner. Which mission is it? Catch me if you can. I mean, to be fair, Blue don't have a GCI on at the moment, but the problem with playing on the Cold War server with no GCI in the MiG-21 is that you are totally blind. The F5s are always near the ground, so your AWACS rarely, if ever, sees them, and when it does, it's only for a moment or two. They have much better visibility than you, at least for now. Hopefully that will change a bit with the MiG-21 update. But it's really difficult. You're kind of at a disadvantage, especially if you're flying alone. I mean, if you're flying in a two-ship, you're a bit better off, but it can be a bit hard. Got Wheel and Pedal and Project Cars 2 to keep me occupied while DCS gets sorted out. Yeah, I mean, I've got other things I could play, but I'm just... I don't know. I'm a DCS tragic. I can't stop playing the game, even though it's broken at the moment. Let's see. Growling Sidewinder server. Oh, there's 60 people on that. I want to play, but I don't think I'm going to be able to without the game freezing. Let's see if anyone's on Just Dogfight. Oh yeah, there's people on Just Dogfight, alright. Not on the central US though, it doesn't even look like that's up, but we can try this. I do also need to get IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad set up so I can play that on stream. But I don't think I have many modules for that, so we'll have to see how we go with it. I also want to get IL-246 updated. I've got to figure out what the Cool Kid mods are these days, because I haven't played that in years, and get back into it, because despite its age, that is still one of the better World War II flight sims I've ever played. What it lacks in fidelity, it makes up for in variety. And it has a much better spotting system than DCS. You can actually see other aircraft. Cliffs of Dover would be a go-to as well. I really want to be able to play Cliffs of Dover on stream, but the issue with that is that Cliffs of Dover runs in about 3 or 4 different windows, and OBS always hooks the wrong one. I have to restart the game and restart OBS about 3 times each to get OBS to hook the right window, and then it only seems to do it for one mission before I have to repeat the process, so I have streamed it before, briefly, but it's a real nightmare to actually get it to play nice with OBS. Don't know why, I guess that's just how the game was made, but it's a shame too, because Cliffs of Dover has a lot of mechanics and a lot of things in it that I think DCS sorely needs. Now, there's other things that are kind of weird about it, like the ground physics in Cliffs of Dover are really odd. Your aircraft always seems to be on ice. Even when you're stopped with the parking brake on, it seems to be slowly sliding around. But the damage model is really good. Like, I think I've got clips up still, and maybe even highlights, of me flying it. And you can see cannon shells going off along my wing, and then when I look again, you can actually see like the exposed gun feed mechanism and everything, and then that gun doesn't work. Because it actually models not only the damage to the wing section, but you can see precisely where the hit went in. So you can actually do a proper BDA on your aircraft, because where you're hit is where it shows, not like DCS or IL-246, where it just overlays a generic damage texture, right? One of the other things about Cliffs of Dover that I really, really like is that it has a much better spotting system than DCS, in that if you're too far away to actually see the aircraft itself, you'll still occasionally see a glint of sunlight off the wings, which is really helpful. If DCS had something like that, it would be a godsend, an absolute godsend, especially when aircraft get low against the ground. You know, something can be not even 200-300 meters from you in DCS, but as soon as it gets below the horizon, you can't see it anymore. It just vanishes into the ground. Whereas something like that, you'd still see a glint off the wings, and you'd still know that there's something there. So I'd love to see something like that in DCS, but I don't think we ever are going to, if I'm honest. Let's see if anyone's in guns. Probably not. Nope. No one is in guns. Feels bad, man. I'll be honest, that was the main reason I got on. I wanted to do some gun stuff. So we got, what, 2 Mirages on the air spawns. There's a Hornet in the 1v1 slots. 2 Hornets in 1v1 slots. It's kind of 2v2 at the moment. I almost don't want to disrupt that. Yeah, we'll hop out. Might come back later. I might jump in Cold War. And just see how long it takes me to get tilted at the invisible F5s. Hey, Duck. $10 I'd give it probably about 20 or 30. It's probably not going to be as bad as it was last time, because they don't have a GCI either. So at least there's that. They also don't outnumber us, so we should be okay. Last time I was on, they outnumbered us and they had a GCI, which is why I got so pissed off, because their F5s could just see me no matter where I was, and I was trying to rely on the AWACS, which is useless. Make sure my controls are all set up, which probably means I should relink my throttles. There we go. I'm waiting to see how much the MiG-19 gets discounted on the Steam sale for modules when that comes around, because unfortunately the current module sale only covers the standalone, which I don't have. I don't really want to convert at the moment. I do want the MiG-19 quite badly, but I also have, like, pretty much no budget right now. I also need to set up my controls for the 15 at some point. I still haven't flown the MiG-15. I'll get around to it at some point. Probably most of the modules I have maybe, like, 10 minutes flying time on, if that. A lot of them I haven't even set up controls. just because I haven't got around to it. I tend to get tunnel visioned on one module for a while at a time. Okay, recenter my tracker, pull the view back a bit. That should have saved, I don't know why it didn't. I'm hoping the freezes aren't too bad on here, but again, I didn't see anything about fixing the performance issues in the patch notes. There was nothing engine related in there, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
Перезарядка по плану. Прием!
Where am I flying from? Galenjik. I don't think we have a beacon
Командир,
here.
оружие подвешено.
No, we don't. So we'll go Anapa, I guess, for this. And then we've got to look up what the... Oh, we're flying to Sochi, okay. So that's actually channel 6, and we'll look up the arc sector, which is 312, I think? Or is it 217? It's kind of between them. We'll go 312. Actually, yeah, no. 311, sorry. And then this goes to channel 6. So I just gotta remember that's taking me to their airbase, or at least our target. That's not gonna take me home. They still haven't fixed the issue of the pitot tube selector spawning on the emergency backup, but I'm sure that'll come with the cockpit update. I think they're doing a bunch of other overhaul stuff with that update as well, like vapor and stuff, so it should be a pretty good one when it eventually comes. They're remodeling the ASP site, although the new model looks basically the same to me, to be honest. And they're changing the canopy framing, so this kind of webbing here between the actual windscreen frame and the quarter panels, all of that is going, so you'll have all this extra space here with better visibility, just this little fillet down here at the front corner. So all of this will be clear all the way around there, so you have much better visibility, much better. Okay, that should be everything. Just gotta put a bit of back trim on for takeoff. And I think I'm good. Now, which end am I taking off from? I'll go from the seaside end. Just exited DCS, got into a store with the Su-25, engines out, managed to start them again. It was like 8 meters above the ground when I started climbing again. Oof. Jesus, those clench moments. I've had a few of those with the MiG-21. This thing's engine is remarkably resistant to compressor stalls, but it does flame out very easily. Mostly due to fuel starvation. I'm getting a bit of stutter here, unfortunately, already. I'm not even off the ground yet. Hopefully that will clear up.
Обнаружена новая цель. 113. Удаление 80 на 500. Дистанция не меняется.
I've got a clip up somewhere on the channel here of me chasing an F5 into cloud, and I didn't realize just how close to the mountains I was, and just out of the haze just off my left wing I saw treetops and they were above me. That was a real oh shit moment for me. Sending me a can of WD-40. It adds to the immersion, man. It makes me feel like I'm really there. Whoa, messy takeoff. Flaps and gear are up. It's a really messy takeoff.
21, 103. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель. 103, 21. Цель не обнаружена. 103, 21. Обнаружена цель. 130. Удаление 230 на 8000. Дистанция не меняется.
I still haven't learned to fly the Harrier yet. I have played around with it a bit, just messing around in free flight, but I don't know how to start it. Well, I keep forgetting how to start it, and I don't know how to do any of the system stuff. Scary computers, man. Too much technology for me. So MiG-21s zip out that way. I will say my frame rate is noticeably worse after the patch, as well as the freezes. So yeah, whatever they did, not good. They haven't fixed it. Someone else in my family plays DCS a lot, so he has a lot of different aircraft. What about the F-14? Already have excellent air superiority fighters, so I won't bother. Anything carrier-based and VTOL practice might be helpful in a lot of games. Yeah, I mean, the Harrier is pretty interesting. It does a bit of multi-role, you know, you can do all sorts of ground strike, you can do some sort of wild weasel seed work, and it is a challenge to fly. The main reason I got the Tomcat wasn't for air-to-air capability, because it is really just a glorified bomber killer. It just is kind of coincidentally good at fighting if you have the experience, which I don't. The main reason I got the Tomcat is because it looks good. It's right in my sort of happy zone for technology level. Very analog cockpit and old-fashioned analog electrical systems. And on top of that, it flies really nicely. well, from my perspective of nice, so it doesn't fly itself. It's very much a pilot's aircraft. But it's fun to take through valleys at very high speed. The faster you go, the better it seems to handle.
21, 103, дайте курс на ближайшую цель. 103, 21, обнаружена цель. 1, 2, 5, удаление 110 на 1000, сближайтесь.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just got to learn to actually use it properly, because I happen to be very bad at not flying into large groups of enemy, and with the Tomcat that's a really good way to get killed. I'll just take my view in a touch, it's a little far out. There we go.
105, 21, обнаружена цель. 119, удаление 150 на 1000, сближайтесь. 21, 103, дайте курс на ближайшую цель. 103, 21, обнаружена цель. 1, 2, 5, удаление 80 на 500.
There we go, we've just picked up the Sochi RSBN, 133 kilometers out. Yeah, the Su-25 is quite similar to the 27. It's a little heavier, it carries 2 extra missiles and it has air-to-air refueling, but the systems are basically the same. It handles in a very similar way, so yeah, it's pretty close. 7 for 60 at 500. I want to see if I can coax these guys up to engage me. I don't like dealing with F5s in the valleys without a GCI because it's so easy for them to just disappear. So easy. I'll also dim the fixed net slightly, it's a bit obnoxious. There we go. Just short takeoff, old Smokey in a 33, did a backflip back onto the very end of the ski ramp. Nicely done. Nicely done. We've established through science, thanks to Rudy, that's really close. That's really close. I'm actually going to go low. We've established that you can take off a fully loaded Tomcat from the Kuznetsov if you take a full deck run up. There we go, hello. And you can also... shit, I've lost him. You can also take off a 33 from the Stennis with the same thing. I'm going to go IR. I did have him on radar momentarily, but I've lost him. We are going very fucking fast. Huge closing speed. He should be off the left of my nose somewhere. Oh my god, when the new cockpit frame's in, it's going to make this so much easier. I can't see him. 035 for 3.
This is 1D, copy.
That's you, you have to me.
This is 1, coming off to the parking lot, do you copy?
290 for 7. At 1,000 cold. So, quite often what happens when a MiG-21 and an F5 merge is they start going into circles, trying to find each other. So he may have missed me in that merge. which I'm hoping is true,
Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
because then I have to drop on him, not vice versa. But our AWACS has lost him. So unless I can pick him up on radar, or actually physically see him, I've got nothing to work with here. I may have shot past him again, but I have no way of knowing.
21, 103. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
115 for 60. That's not him, that's the sun. That's someone else. He wouldn't have got that far away from me that quickly. The F5 isn't very fast. I see nothing behind me, so at least there's that.
21, 103.
Saw missile contrailing at me, are you sure? 054 for 13. Somewhere off my nose. I see him. Gotcha! He's still flying, I think. And I accidentally just turned my radar off instead of back on. Yep, still flying. We'll go fix that. You can just see him. He's like a single pixel dot descending there.
105. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Just flying right ahead of you. Well, not flying, but taxiing up to the runway.
Missile's not picking him up yet. Shit. By accidentally turning my radar off, I may have screwed myself if something else appears. Oh, he's trying to slip away.
Atlantic traffic, so 4, going to active runway 01, heading north.
We just lost the engine. There we go, that killed him for sure. Blew his wings right off. Okay, engine's back. Can't make its mind up.
21, 103. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
How's our fuel? Not great. It's time to get out of here. Not get greedy. I'll head back, rearm, refuel. Ooh, 125 for 90. We might have just enough to... Actually, no, that's coming from Sochi. Never mind. We'll go back. I'll just follow the coast up. It's pretty easy to find Gelendzhik. Radar back into standby, and hopefully by the time I'm actually airborne again, it will be working. Now, With the MiG-21 module, they made a few abstractions to make it easier to fly in DCS.
Copy on taxi.
A lot of things that kind of work around, but basically things that kind of make up for the fact that although it has a clickable pit, there's certain things that you'd be able to just flip from muscle memory in real life that you might not be able to in this. But one of the abstractions which I think they've done is, now this could be different for the BIS model, but I don't believe it is. The MiG-21, around the sort of transonic range up through its maximum speed at low level, was quite hard to control. Like, it was very, very heavy on the controls. Now, I guess with force feedback, maybe they model that, but otherwise it doesn't appear to be a factor. From some of the reading I was doing, the aircraft experiences quite severe buffet at that kind of speed. But again, that may be true of the older models, but not the BIS. I'm not 100% certain. I was working off of American sources for that, not Soviet documentation. So it could have been the Americans were flying it out of configuration or something, or it could have just been the model they had. So we're sitting on 1 kill there. Go ahead and put some more music on. Now, the reason it took 2 missiles to kill him is because the R-60, while it's pretty maneuverable, it's not a bad missile, it's just very, very weak because it's so small. Quite often it will take 2 or 3 missiles to down something with the R-60. With that said, for close range work, they're much better than the R-13. The R-13's a better missile for sort of mid-range work, but once you get in really close with high offset shots, like I quite often have to take, the R-60 is really the only way to go. In the MiG-21, obviously if I had R-73s, they're even better. The R-73 is kind of like a big R-60, really. So it fixes a lot of the problems with this missile.
Okay, I'm turning right, hitting the bolts. 2 copy. I thought you were going solo.
1100
I
fuel.
offered giving it top cover until she didn't respond. Copy now.
Go ahead and hit the cancel on the SAU. We don't want to be landing with the damper on, and we definitely don't want to be taking off with the damper on. Unlike in the MiG-29, it's basically the reverse of the MiG-29. You want the damper on for normal flight, but you want it off for anything where you're near the ground. Because it makes the aircraft try and porpoise itself into the dirt. It's a little heavy-handed in the MiG-21. It's very much something you use in flight only. This will either be our AWACS or one of the other MiG-21s off my nose. Should be getting close to good engine now. We're holding some pretty good speed at mil power. 1150 kilometers an hour indicated. So we are just pretty much just supersonic, just a hair past it. We're doing about nearly 1200 true. we should be coming up to Galenchik up here. That contrail up there's our AWACS.
One, be advised you have a target 120 for 90 at 1,000 hot. Copy that, are you with me still? 6 o'clock high, about 2 kilometers behind you. Copy that.
It's a runway here. Circus 14 base, Galenchik, runway 1.
Be advised, we got a bandit 115 for 40 clicks, hot. I repeat, 115, 40 clicks, hot. 2 copies, moving into intercept. Okay, we're 30 clicks west of Bulls.
21, 104, дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
111, 22. Copy that, he's dead on. Okay, I'm breaking right. Copy that, dropping bags.
Обнаружено 104. 21. Обнаружена цель. 101. Удаление 8.
Visual on the bandit.
Сближайтесь.
Copy that, let me know if you fire. 2 bandits, 2 F5s. Fox 2. Missed. Visual. God damn it, come back around. Lost visual on both targets. Copy that, I'm coming back around from the south. Copy that.
All runways clear, Galenchik. I'm just really abbreviating my comms because I know these guys are in a bit of a stoush at the moment. I don't want to be talking over them.
21. 104. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
God, the fucking stick, I don't see them.
21. Обнаружена цель. 048. Удаление 6. На 1000. Дистанция не меняется.
How are we doing, 2?
I made it with a decent amount of fuel. Alright,
I'm on your 3 o'clock, passing right now.
let's retrim the
Copy that.
aircraft
Being locked up, 2.
for takeoff.
Visual
We'll
on my
find
6.
my neutral, there it is. We'll come back just past neutral, out there.
Water. Copy that, I saw that. Just merged with you. Looking for the goddamn bandits. 072 for 35. Moving in that direction. No, sorry. 302 or 21 of 500 cold.
Okay, that's all set up. Just tell them to refuel us and rearm us.
061 for 29. Okay, changing heading 060. Roger that, 060. New target 047 for 23 and 500, flanking.
That's interesting. It's almost like we have a guy doing GCI, but I don't think we do.
Changing heading 045.
He might just be calling targets off
Gonna be
his
the
own
same guy
nose.
popping in and out of the mountains. Copy that, come on. Give me some neoax. 02 for 21. Run. Yep, he's flanking left. Copy that. There's a second bandit. Could be.
Turn that down just a
Where's
touch.
Second bandit, there were two, you said. Could have been one of the guys who went to the drink.
Still refueling.
Copy that. But
We'll actually pop the lid while we wait.
I'm almost there, 7 clicks.
So one of the things that the cockpit rework does is
Don't have visual on anything.
it also adds luminous paint to all of these. So there's a lot more luminous paint in the cockpit in the new model. So that will be much better for night flying.
Looks like a merged.
And it's more realistic than having everything backlit like it has at the
You want the
moment.
club?
Just make sure we're rearmed. That wing's good to go.
I'm blind.
We'll see the fuel gauge reset once the belly tank's on, which is one of the other things that they abstracted. That would have to be manually set by the pilot, but in this it automatically sets by the ground crew. Okay, we
A-Watch
are
has
good
no
to go.
contact. 270 for 20 and 500. Heading that direction. New contact 241 for 45 and 500. Copy that, got that too. So we have two bandits. F5 on my 6. Copy that. Flare,
Hey,
if you
Knex.
can. Dropping flares. No joy, no visual. I'm a bit far away from you. Oh, visual. Coming in.
Hey Dirt. I've shot down an F5, so I'm about to go see if I can find a second.
Visual on the F5. Merged.
I'm not entirely sure where these other guys are, but they're obviously having some fun out there.
He's on my 6 now. Dragging him upwards. Copy that, come back around.
Let's make sure everything's set, flaps set, canopy sealed, trim set, switches on.
Fox 2 looking good, tracking.
Learn to take off from the carrier with the A4. I haven't tried it from the carrier yet, but I probably should. I'm still getting used to flying it in general, but yeah.
Is there another one behind me, or is that you?
I've seen people
That's
land it on the
version
carrier.
you on your 6 o'clock.
I'm just not sure about the takeoff, because I know they
Copy
had to
that,
do
you had me
some
my...
pretty bizarre
Alright, currently on your 3
workarounds
o'clock.
to get it to work.
Roger, 3 o'clock.
Might turn that radio down a bit more.
Okay, let's extend a little bit southwest, correction, northwest. That's 300.
Landing. No one taking off.
started beeping the fuel. Copy, keep a low profile.
Come on. Turn around.
We'll try.
There we go. My left rudder pedal is the bane of my existence right now. I cannot turn left. So I have to do a really wide radius
far
turn.
away. Could be.
Okay.
What's your fuel? 12.
There we go.
Bandit 220 for 22. 220 for 22,
Alright.
copy that. Copy that. If you're doing your fuel, just ought to be, I'll get him.
In burner.
112 for 14, cannot RTB. Copy that.
Stick back.
Got trying to make it short and sweet.
300, rotate.
2 for 1 for 19.
And we're up.
Okay,
That was a much
go
better
get
takeoff.
that guy at 112, I'll get the guy at 241. Copy.
21. 103. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
This is 102 closing on bandits from the south. Copy that.
This is the MiG-21,
Picked
yeah.
up something on radar, it's a friendly. Might be me, I'm in the right turn.
I don't have the 19 yet, but I do want it.
Copy that, I got the call. I think I see him. Can you flare one time? Okay, that's 2 times when you're 9 o'clock. Copy that. Your 6 is clear. Thank you. Okay, convoys under attack, I repeat, convoys under attack. I have.
Show me how to fix the carrier so I can take off from the A4? Yeah, cheers. I'm probably not going to do carrier stuff with it today. I might do some just messing around in ground attack missions flying from airfields, but I will at some point fly the carrier.
Start RTBing, that's where the convoys are probably. Look for smoke on the ground. Copy.
Just going to double check the briefing. Probably should have
Keep
read
flying
that
close to the
beforehand,
coast,
but you know.
that's where the road
Kind of
is.
2 ups, is where our 3 convoys are escaping. Right, so that's where I want to head. Down the coast.
0546 G. Tally on a bogey. Flying along the coastline southward.
21. 103. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Okay, radar on.
090 for 23, shit. I got a friendly off my nose.
Holy shit, what are they? Tally on MiG-21. That's probably me, banking right. No, this one's going straight heading 2644, heading east.
That's me. I'm getting calls for a bunch of stuff off my nose close.
Copy that. Getting calls 093 for 17.
I see something crossing my nose. Gonna get visual ID.
Copy that. Be advised, guys, multiple friendlies here and near. I got the A5, going after the convoy. I think he just crashed into the trees. Not sure of that.
Yeah, he did. That was the same one I was after.
Copy that. So F5 is down. We've got another one coming in from the east. Alright, I see where the
That's a
convoys
friendly.
were.
That's a MiG-21 there.
Tally on the smoke. Is either one of you flying along the coastline east?
I think that's me.
Yeah, two of us.
Yeah, I'm on your 6. Whoever's flying over the coast, I'm on your 6. Say your name, please. Flat twice.
Yep. All three of us. All three of us are following each other, it looks like.
Okay, we still have some guys remaining from the convoy. Bandits coming in 127 for 10. I repeat, 127 for 10. Missile! Merge with an F5. Could be a vegan. That's a vegan.
That's another MiG-21.
Missile launch. Guys, flares.
No visual. I see you guys, I don't see it.
Fox 2 in the begin. Miss.
Tally. I'm turning in.
Heading back east.
Something just hit the trees in front of me. Fox 2 biggin. Probably should have taken that shot.
Tally on the Fox 2. Closing in.
MiG, if you're out of missiles, break off. Fox 2.
Tally.
I think he's defeated it. He's full burner. Closing, 2 heaters left.
Second, please.
2 heaters left, closing for a shot. Trailing MiG break, I don't want to track on you. Fox. That should get him.
That was my biggin. I was going after him with guns. Alright, good kill. Okay, 2 is clearly RTB now. Bingo fuel. Oh man, that biggin. I was firing guns at him all the time. Hit him just once, but he was still flying. Speeder stale.
I probably should have let him have that, but I didn't want him to be tied up fighting that and have more enemy turn up. My philosophy when it comes to stuff like this is I don't care who gets the kills, as long as it's killed quickly. And that Vigan was still bombed up, he was still ready to wreck shit.
Holy shit, I'm blowing fuel.
And he just ran himself out of fuel chasing the guy, so Yeah. Of course, I used way more missiles on that than I should have. I didn't get close enough for those shots, and he was too low. I should have gone up and come down to give the missiles a chance to get over those hills, because he just drove them into the ground. Ran him out of energy and drove him into the ground. Make a homemade track IR? Yes, you can. Although I'm not an expert in that field, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how, sorry.
21, 103, дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Oh, we outnumber them now. Hang around here on the station for a little longer and then RTB. That's their AWACS that just got called. Let's say they're both on the ground. Hang around a little longer. I've still got the fuel for it, so once I get down to about 1,000 litres, that's when I'll head home and rearm and refuel. I've got to, I tend to tunnel vision a bit when I'm chasing targets like that, and especially in this case, I was zoomed all the way in, so I wouldn't accidentally hit the MiG-21. But doing that really lessened my situational awareness, and I was worried I was going to fly into a tree. So probably what I should have done in that engagement was I should have climbed up and then rolled over to fire that missile so that it had an altitude advantage on the Viggen, because he was just staying really low and jinking and driving them into the ground. I should have got closer as well, and part of that would also help make sure that it didn't track the other MiG-21 who was in afterburner the whole time. Still their AWACS being called out. 8,000 meters is their AWACS. Very rarely do you see players go up that high on this server. Usually players hang out pretty much in the weeds. Now I could throttle back a bit, but I do like to keep my speed up in the MiG-21, even if that does mean burning through fuel a bit faster. 127 for 50, there we go. At 1,000.
Atlantic traffic, this is 104, currently running downwind, runway 01, heading for runway 01 landing.
Another guy as well. So they're both coming, they're just separated out quite a bit. Odds are pretty good I'm not going to pick this guy back up. Oh, I might. Oh, please don't hit a tree. DCS, now is not the time. 121 for 19. at 1,000. There he is. Probably too late on that shot. Nope. We hit him. Splash Figan. I'm RTB. I'm glad he was coming over the crest of that hill, otherwise I wouldn't have seen him. They're so hard to spot like that if they've got ground behind them, but if they've got sky behind them, it's a little easier. Right, so radar, can go back to standby.
104, turning crosswind to runway 01.
I think I'm down to my R3s, yes I am. I like this mission. I seem to have quite a bit of success in this mission compared to a lot of the other ones they run on this server. I don't know why. It might just be the time of day and the terrain we're fighting over makes it relatively easy to see them coming head on like that. It's kind of weird. They probably feel safer in the mountains, but I'd say they're probably less safe than they are over the flat plains to the northeast.
Final, runway 0.
If I had a bit more fuel or some more heaters, I would turn in for that guy, but I just don't want to risk it. The R3R is not a dogfight missile, not even close. Why do you need the IR filter removed? Because that's how it works. It picks up the IR light from the LEDs. So you need the IR to get into the camera. What am I? 103, I think.
Shot final 0.
.03 RTB having a contact called 120 for 60 from me, but I'm down to radar missiles. And that will be the F5. He's basically straight back down the coast. They're following along the coastline up towards Tuapse. Why do I need that type of shape? Because it tracks by triangulation, so it needs to compare the positions of all three lights to figure out where your head's pointed. If you only have two, it won't work. By the same token, if you have it angled the wrong way, which is why I have mine sticking out to the side at this angle, if you have it angled the wrong way in respect to your camera, you'll see, or the camera will see, two of the lights overlap, and then it'll merge into one, and the camera will just spaz out, and you'll find yourself staring at the ceiling or something. It works by triangulation, so you have to have three lights. You could have more than three, but three is the minimum number you can have, and they have to be arranged in a triangle or something like that. They can't be all in a straight line. catch you later, Connects. We'll have to play some Tarkov later if I'm still on. I don't know. I'll try and stay up, but my sleep cycle is all kinds of messed up at the moment. I felt the need, though, the need for MiG-21. And I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised by how I'm going so far. 3 kills. Wait. Oh, yeah, no, okay. I was trying to figure out where the third one came from. I'm not fully awake. It's also cold as fuck in here. My feet are freezing. They're like ice blocks. Okay, we're going to disengage the SAU in preparation for landing. That should be Galenjik off to our nose there. And then the next bay along, I think, or the one behind it, is Novorossiysk. He's moving pretty slow. I mean, it is an F5, so that's kind of to be expected, but it looks like the server's starting to empty out as well. Kind of a shame. Try hard 1-1. It's a good call sign. Flare so people can see me if they're on the runway. 103 joining downwind, runway 1, Galenjik. My traffic calls are all kinds of scuffed today. Pull in a nice turn here, use the plane as an air brake, come off the power a little, first stage flaps, back trim, gear, second stage flaps, power back on, gear to neutral, coming in a little fast. So I can come off the power a little more, but I've got to have power on the final approach because that's where a lot of my lift comes from the blown flaps. So I'm actually going to pop the air brake to slow me down and put power on. Give her a bit of a flare there, and off, power, brake out. Beautiful. Chute should be deployed. Yep. I should have actually made a base call. My bad. Ah, it's fine. Galenjik traffic's 103, clear all runways, Galenjik. Almost said circus 1-4. But since everyone else was using the in-game call signs, I figured I'd use mine as well. Pop the seal on the canopy. And get my trim reset for when I take off. Just kind of feathering the brake here. Off the power. Down to 450 litres of fuel, which is my fuel warning light there, flashing on and off. Squeaky noise, that's the pinky switch on my Warthog stick. She could use a little bit of oil. There we go. Parking brake. Everything else should be pretty much set, so tell the ground crew to rearm and refuel me.
Дозаправка по плану. Перезарядка по плану.
And just pop the lid while we wait.
Принял.
Oh, there's nobody left on blue. Let's see if someone joins. Now, if I was going to fly blue at all, it'd have to be in the Viggen, because that's the only blue aircraft I have. But the Viggen isn't great for air-to-air, what with the lack of a radar.
104, taxing to runway 01 at Atlantic.
And I also don't really know what I'm doing with it. I don't fly the Viggen very often, so I have only a very basic understanding of how to start it. Not really any understanding of how the weapon systems work. But the MiG-21 I'm quite familiar with. I'm not going to say good at, but familiar with, definitely. I spend a lot of time in this baby. Today's a sale. I'm on the Steam version, so the ED sale doesn't really help me. When the Steam summer sale kicks in for DCS modules, if it does, then I should be able to pick up some. Maybe. We'll see how much money I got. I'm still waiting on pay for a job I did a month and a half ago, which I'm not real happy about, and until that comes in I can't really spend on anything.
Командир, борт заправлен.
Yeah. It's a hard life when there's a sale on and you have no money to spend. Oh, what's he doing? Looks like he's parking up. Maybe he's gonna switch teams?
Командир, оружие подвешено.
It looks like he's parking up. He might either disconnect or switch teams. I'm hoping he switches teams. I do want to get some more MiG-21 flying in. Still just getting calls for their AWACS. what I might do is I might show you guys what's going on with the new cockpit. So we'll go. Wait, spring. Here we go. So we're getting the Crusader at some point, which I'm really excited for. Always good to have more Vietnam-era jets. It should be fun to fly as well. Very interesting with the variable incidence wing. New pilot for the Corsair, which is in the works, and this is the new MiG-21 cockpit. So as you can see, if we open up this screenshot here, you can see how much better the visibility is around the canopy frame compared to this. Like, all this extra sort of webbing is gone. And this is actually closer to what it's like in real life. I'm not sure why they gave it that webbing when they first made the module, because I haven't seen any model of MiG-21 that's as heavily framed as this, even the older ones. So it'll be nice to get rid of that. Although I do, like, aesthetically this looks really cool, but it's an annoyance. It gets in the way so much. It's so easy to lose people behind the canopy framing. So when they get rid of that, it'll make it a lot easier to dogfight in this thing. You'll have better forwards visibility than the Tomcat. And you can also see that they put actual luminous paint on a lot of the things here, which lack it at the moment. So it should make it better for night flying. And there's a new ASP model as well, although to be honest, I can't really tell the difference. This model looks pretty well detailed. The only thing that jumps out to me is the paint's a little brighter and it doesn't have my little custom texture on it. Anyway, it appears that we have no one to fight. So I think I might just... switch off.
Обнаружена цель. 1-4-2. Удаление 240. На 8000. Сближ...
When you forget to turn all of these off before you turn the master power off. Okay. There we go. It's not a proper shutdown, but it's close enough. So, I mean, that wasn't too bad. I got 3 kills, I didn't get shot down. And that was without even a GCI, so I'm pretty happy with that result. Let's jump out. Now, I did download some missions for the A4, but I'm not sure where they're going to show up, because they didn't appear in the missions folder, and they don't appear here. Oh, you know why? Because I'm a genius. I forgot to install them. That's alright, whatever. What I might do is set up the controls for the MiG-15, I think. Because I haven't done that yet, and I really should. Okay. Access commands. I think I started to set them up, but I didn't. Yeah. So we will get rid of... Oh, whoops, no. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So my rudder... This also needs to be reset. There we go. I'll put a curve on that because my rudder pedals are a bit iffy at best times. Bit of a dead zone as well. Probably about 10. Crank curve up to about 25. Carrier Skyhawk? Yep, I'll just get this set first, just so that I don't have to worry about it later when I want to play the MiG-15. Okay, so Arc 5 radio compass, this should all be clickable. So pretty much I'm looking to, okay, so that's my target distance, that's good, that's what it should be. Yep, that's a good setup. That's actually really well set up by default. Emergency release button, 28 and 27, which button's that, or which switch is that? Trying to figure out. That is on my throttle, but I'm not sure which thing it is. Ah, there we go. Okay, so that's that. That's okay. That's not bad. I might need to set those other releases as well, but I can do that later. I always rebind this to what it defaulted to on the MiG-21, just out of habit. So bogey dope goes to Windows Q. That's interesting that I've got those bound to that. I'll get rid of those. I don't need them on there. Flight control. That's the trim, so that's all set. Okay, don't need that bound. Instrument panel should all be clickable. Kneeboard is just left as default. So pretty much, I think that should mostly do it. Ignition switch, 26. Which button is 26? It's one of the throttle buttons. I'm not sure which. Ah, okay, so it's the autopilot engage button, which is a bit bizarre. Let's get rid of that. We'll make that. I've got to change the landing gear now. Probably have to modify some stuff as well. Okay, gun safety cover. What button's that? Button 19. I feel like that's a hat switch. Ah, that's to press on the thumb button. Cannon fire button. Okay, so second stage pull for both guns. That's a bit awkward, but I can live with it. So I'll rebind this, because I always have it the opposite way around. Landing gear handle down. So that by default was one of these switches. What I might do is rebind that. There we go. Wheel brake, yep, that's already set. Flaps are set. Engine start. Microphone button is not what I want it set as. There we go. Actually, we'll clear that, set that. Engine start button. Which button is that? I have no clue. Oh, unless it's... no. It is a mystery. Joystick button 15. I did know which one that was, but I... oh, it's my fucking countermeasure button. We don't want that. Don't actually know for that one. I might make it that switch there. So then that should be everything I need. I'll just get rid of the F12 on this because that's my screenshot key. There we go. Accidentally take a screenshot while binding things up, but let's do just a quick flight in the MiG-15. No, I've had the MiG-15 for ages, I just haven't set it up. I bought this module last sale, or like over the Christmas sale, I think it was. So I've had it for a very long time, I've just never played it. I was too busy having fun with the 21. Just make sure all of this is set up. Looks good. I have a bad habit of forgetting that switches are in certain positions, and then when I spawn in a new aircraft, it has some unpleasant effects. Sure yet what I want to get in the sale? Probably either Hornet or Persian Gulf. Yeah, that's a hard choice. I'd say, personally, out of those two, I'd go for the Hornet. Because then you can play it wherever, whereas Persian Gulf, like, yeah, there's some good servers that run it, and you can do a lot of stuff on it, but I'd go for an aircraft rather than a terrain, to be fair. Especially the Hornet, because that plane does basically everything. The Hornet's the only real Swiss Army knife in DCS. It can do basically any role you need it to. My music stopped while I was setting up those controls. Can it refuel other planes? I think it has buddy pods. I don't know if they've implemented them, but I know in real life it can buddy refuel, and I expect in DCS it either can or it will be able to, depending whether they've done it or not yet. Alright, here we go. We'll zoom our view out to about there. There we go, that looks pretty good. We've got a pilot body. It's gonna get in the way a bit though. See, this is the problem, that because they're not animated, when I have my view set all the way back, like this or like the Spitfire, it does get in the way. So I might actually just pop the view forwards a touch, and then pull the field of view out. There we go, is that going to get in my way? No, that's perfect. Good. Okay, check controls. Yeah, the MiG-15's got quite a nice cockpit. Oh, look at all these switches. I don't know what any of these do. Let's see, labels. I need to get the, actually I think I already have the high-res cockpit for this, I just need to install it. This panel here with the emergency gear and emergency flaps and stuff, I think that's flaps. That's the exact same panel as in the MiG-19, so you can really see how a lot of the design choices carried across between aircraft, you know, from one to the next it doesn't change much, and then slowly it progresses along. Got a little oh wow, we can actually adjust the cockpit ventilator. That's for our navigation homing. Same place as in the MiG-19, it's on the left rail. This is our arming switches for the cannons. Left NR23, or rather first NR23, second NR23, and then the N37. So So a fairly similar cockpit layout to the MiG-19. What's that? Fast. Oh, that's a fast direct for the compass. That's what that is. Alright. Oh no, I don't have the 19. I really want the 19, but I can't afford it yet. That is on the list of things I want to get. So you got to kind of get your head in just the right spot to use this gun sight. There is a way to, like, there's an option to snap your view to it, but I don't like that because I find things like that tend to snap your view at a really inconvenient time, and I don't want to deal with that at all. But yeah, the cockpit of this is very much like the MiG-19's cockpit in a lot of ways. You got your little flip-down safety there. I love that. Trimmer switch is actually that paddle right there. That's really interesting. It's not a hat on the stick, it's a paddle on the left side of the pit. Oops, we got a little slow there. Trim setup. There we are. Stick back to neutral, and we are flying. Looks like the external lights are on. Not entirely sure where the switch is to turn them off, to be honest. Could be down here somewhere. Yeah, the Skyhawk does start really easy. It took me a little while to figure it out, but once I got it going, it's pretty simple. There we go. Let's find something to brass up, maybe a train. There should be a train line around here somewhere. Flying over a highway right now. Well, not a highway, but a road. Nope, that is a train line, I think. We'll follow it. Got to set up my throttle curves and stuff for this, maybe stick curves as well. Got to remember as well, this is a two-stage trigger, the way it's bound by default. I might change that. It really depends. So you got your good old-fashioned, old-school gyro sight here with a little mechanical backup, which is kind of cute. Sunshade, which, oh my lord, the sunshade actually works. You can see through it, but it dims the shit behind it. One of very few working sunshades in DCS. They're either not enough or too much, usually. Go ahead and let's uncage the sight. Oh, that is a road, not a railway. Where's the railway then? There should be one around here. We'll have to play this, but I wouldn't have a clue where to start. It looks super complex. It's not that complex. A lot of it, with certain aircraft it can be, but a lot of it does come down to muscle memory. Like the MiG-21 is mostly just remembering where different switches are. It's something that's daunting at first, but you get the hang of it pretty quick. There's a lot of tutorials and things online as well, particularly on YouTube. You also have, for most of the modules, you have in-game walkthroughs on how to start them, how to do different things, navigation, weapons, stuff like that. And quite often as well, people that do stream the game will show new players how to do things, or you'll be able to pick up from what they're doing. So for instance, when I want to learn how to fly a new aircraft, quite often I'll just go find someone that's streaming it and appears to know what they're doing. And there's also text guides out as well, like for instance Chuck's guides for the different aircraft. Is that a railway? No, that's a creek line, I think. I just want to find a train. This thing handles pretty pleasantly so far, mind you, I'm not really putting much strain on it. Get some power on. I don't really like these baked-on reflections. The Spitfire has really obnoxious ones too. I wish ED would either make proper real-time, well, maybe not real-time reflections, but proper reflections, like moving cube maps maybe, or just get rid of them altogether, because the baked-on ones, if you're sitting here looking straight ahead, they don't look too bad, but they don't move in relation to your head. They're just, you know, baked on, so it looks like shit as soon as you start moving your head around. So I might have to see if I can find some way of getting rid of those on the Spitfire and the MiG-15. I just really don't like them. I mean, it's 2019. We shouldn't be dealing with baked-on reflections on canopies. We really shouldn't. They're quite strong too, so they make it kind of obnoxious to see things in certain lighting conditions. So I'm just running with default curves on the pitch and roll axes at the moment, which I think is 1-to-1. But I did set up a fairly aggressive yaw curve just because of my shoddy pedals. I say shoddy, it's more because I broke them than anything, really. Okay. Still trying to find a train. I'm seeing lots of roads, but no railways. We've got a pretty decent sized built up area off the nose, so we might find something there. Interestingly, it looks like this airspeed indicator on this has a separate needle for true airspeed, which is kind of like the mark indicator on the MiG-21 and the MiG-19. But in this case, they put it on the airspeed indicator instead, because obviously this thing has no mark indicator. It doesn't go that fast. Do we have a train line? Please. We got something down there. What is that? A bridge? No, that's a power line. It's a shadow. There's a train. I see it. Are my brakes out? No, they're not. Oh! It didn't save my air brake setup. Okay. Air brakes. Open should be... Hang on. What? Okay, no. There we go. I was looking at the wrong thing. There we go. That's what I want. There we are. I might double back around for this train. Be a bit of an aerobatic test as well. Got a little slow there, but not too bad. What? That's interesting. So that's the gun camera. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, that's the cannon fire button. Camera. S31 gun camera switch. Don't actually know. Oh, I haven't cocked my guns, that's why. But I need to see if I can make that camera window not pop up. I like to have it saving, but I don't want it on my screen. There we go. Yeah, the gun camera does apparently save like a sort of old school sort of film to your saves folder of whatever your guns are looking at when you pull the trigger when it's turned on. Cockpit recorder in the Tomcat, I don't know. Probably not. I know the MiG-21, the gun camera on that doesn't do anything. Okay, my guns still aren't working. I probably got them turned off, maybe? Is it because it's double bound? What's going on here? I'm missing something here. The guns are on. Oh, is it the safety switch maybe? Yeah, I think it might be. Nope. No, it's not. But yeah, the MiG-21's gun camera doesn't do anything, but the MiG-21's flight recorder does actually save telemetry from whatever flight you have it turned on in to a text file in your saves folder. Now I should note this is the first time I've ever flown this aircraft, so that's why I don't know why my guns aren't firing. I don't know. It should be configured to shoot. The guns are switched on. Well, they should be armed. But we're not getting anything out of them. Now, I do wonder if I have to turn the gun camera off to get them to work, but that doesn't really make sense. Because the gun camera is not just there for training purposes, it's there to actually record your kills as well. I don't know. Where does it save to? It'll be in... So if you go to your saved games folder, where track files save to, it should be in there under aircraft MiG-21, I think, or something like that. And then probably for MiG-15 for the gun camera on this, but I really don't know what's going on with it. Should be configured. The guns are showing... Oh, you know what? I probably don't have any ammunition. Genius. Absolute fucking 5-head. Where am I? We'll go to the nearest airbase, if I can avoid freezing my game. Oh god, it's frozen. I'd made a terrible mistake. I zoomed out too far. We will head back to Minvordi, which is basically... Oh god, oh jeez. Waterbug. Want to head east, northeast. We'll try and land and get rearmed. Minvordi is easy to find, even without nav aids, because you see those, what, 3 or 4 peaks over there, and that's it. It's right next to them. But yeah, I reckon that's probably what it is. I didn't think, I'd assumed I would have ammo, but no. Probably not. Interestingly, this actually has roll trim, which the MiG-21 does not. So there you go. In some ways, the MiG-15 is more advanced than the MiG-21. At least when it comes to trim setting. Hey, gun. Also not entirely sure where the exterior lighting switches are. Or what this is. Now, interestingly, we don't have a mirror here. So, we've got to use the old Mark 1 eyeballs to see behind us, but the rearward visibility on the MiG-15 is actually pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. Much better than the MiG-21. Arguably better than the F5 as well. Looks like we're going okay for fuel, at least for now. The flap control switch, I believe, is hidden under my pilot's arm. No? Ah! That might be it. So the flap control switch in this is actually different to the MiG-19 and the MiG-21 and the MiG-29. I thought it was the same. That might be from the MiG-17, they changed it. Probably inspired by one gun. There's Mount Elbrus over there. Big boy. Much bigger than everything else around it. It's actually kind of weird. I'd never really noticed how much it stands out before against the other mountains in DCS. I guess because usually when I fly near it it's quite cloudy or I'm very low to the ground, but that is a big bitch. Actually gonna fight planes or just flying? I'm just testing this thing out at the moment because I've just set up the controls for it. I was fighting earlier. You missed me get 3 kills in the MiG-21. And I'll probably be doing some more fighting in a little while. I just want to kind of get an impression of the MiG-15, so then I can take this thing online as well. I was also doing some just quick flyouts in the Spitfire as well at the start of the stream. I might go back to that a bit later on, because I do need to get the handle of that a little better, get the hang of it better. Controls are kind of still not quite where I'd like them. It's a little too sensitive. Okay, so Minvodi Airport is right off our nose. That's it right there. I also don't know where the switches for the exterior lighting are. What's that? I don't think that's it. So bear in mind, I don't know any of the speeds for this thing. I don't know its approach speed, don't know any of that. I think its stall speed's like 100 and... no, it'd be more than that. 150, 200 kilometers an hour? I'm not sure. But I'm gonna guess the landing speed is probably about 250, maybe 200. I'm a little low. But still a bit fast as well. So we'll crank the nose up. Just kind of pulse the air brake out. Putting the air brake on really makes you climb, at least initially, which is interesting. There's the runway. Off the power. First stage flaps. More trim. Just massage the brake a bit. Gear. More flap. Really getting a lot of lift here. This is going to be a very messy landing, but it should work. Wasn't too bad. So here's something I'm curious about. I'm going to go ahead and hide my pilot body. So this is the flaps. Okay, so it's got a couple positions. That's up, neutral. Okay, so there's a neutral flap position. I need to keep that in mind. Then takeoff and landing. Right.
107. Заруливайте на стоянку.
I'm just going to turn around on the runway. If I have nose wheel steering. Hello. That is slightly concerning. How do I steer? So It either isn't differential braking, or it's not turned on. We're gonna just quickly check the control bindings. Nose, no. Steering, no. Brake. Forced axis wheel brake. I don't know what that means, but we'll try it. The engine's really slow to respond to throttle input on the MiG-15. Nope, I have no steering. Okay, well that's very interesting indeed. I'm gonna have to work that one out. I'm just gonna respawn the aircraft. That's very weird. I'm pretty sure it should have differential braking. I just don't know how to activate it. Alright. No, we do have gun ammo. Okay, well, you know what? We'll work it out later, but at least I know I can take off and land the thing without killing myself, so that's a start. Right, so let's set up this A4. What do I need to do for that? Is that going to be something I need to do in the mission editor, or...? Okay. Mission editor. Yeah, whatever. That works. I have no idea what I'm doing in the mission editor, by the way, so... Just throwing that out there. I don't generally use this. Status. Okay. Oh, whoops. What did I do? That's a waypoint. I don't want that. Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. Right. Right. Ah, there we go. That's how I change the heading. No, I don't want waypoints. There we go. Okay, so Stennis placed. I guess I will give it... I'll move it in a bit closer to the shore, maybe? And then, yeah, I'll give it a waypoint out. Oops, waypoint out. How do I... There we go. Out there? Okay. That's done. I guess I'm going to need a Skyhawk for this too, so probably want to place that. Put speed 3 knots. 3 knots. Advanced waypoint actions, yep. I guess I'm going to want to add something here. perform command. Is that it? Because there's a delay, if you want to just lump all the instructions into one message, it'd probably be easier. Wait, TACAN on action. Yep. Select the unit is in the... Oh, there, yeah, I see. Done? Okay. So then, if I place... A4... Oh, waypoint 1, okay. There we go. Yeah, what's up, gun? Yep, that's set. There's a delay, gun. There's like at least a 10-second delay, I think. Okay. So, we want A4. I guess I need to actually place it on the status marker, yeah? How am I going to know where it's going to spawn on deck? Or is that something that oh, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that either. God damn it. Can I move this thing? Ah! No, I can't. Take off from ramp. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I get it now. Okay, I'll just quickly tweak some stuff on this as well. If it'll let me. There we go. There we go. Now, from memory, I don't think this thing can actually hook into the catapult. I think you have to just take off, and it kind of cheeses its way. So that if you're at the altitude of the carrier deck, it just behaves like it's on the cat. How do I get rid of the SRS overlay? Just close the actual overlay window, I think. Or there should be an option or something for it. Well, we are on the deck. We're kind of parked in an awkward spot, but we're on the deck. Oh, you know what? Your boy here forgot to make it a player-controlled aircraft. How do I jump into it? I know there's a way to do it somewhere. Occupy... No. A4. Occupy, no. Yeah, I can't control it. Like, it hasn't actually put me in the aircraft. Close so the overlay, if you mean the actual control overlay, it should be in a separate window. Just close that. But there's also the information overlay, which I think you have to turn off rather with options or a keybind or something. Here we go. No, that isn't what I need. Where is it? Skill player. There we go. There we go. Yeah, like I said, I don't use the editor, so I kind of forgot that step. Right, there we go. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, no, 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 no. We're sliding off the carrier. This is very much not good. On the other hand, I can use this to park over here. Aha. Aha ha ha ha. There we go.
Chief, place the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now in place.
There we go. Whew. Crisis averted. Okay, ground crew, ground power.
Chief, turn on the ground power.
Let's fix my view here.
Copy.
Some sorted. Get some light in here. Won't worry about any of that stuff. We'll just get it started up.
Turn off the ground power. Chief,
oh, the radio might not be set up properly. I've had trouble with this before. I forget why. I mean, I don't think it's even turned to transmit at the moment, but even with it on transmit, I couldn't talk to the ground crew. Might be defaulted to the wrong frequency or something. So we'll just get rid of them.
Remove the wheel chocks.
Now I can close the lid. Okay, we gotta put some power on so we don't roll backwards, I guess. way it rolls around the deck is kind of obnoxious. Okay, I don't think I'm hooked. Let me just double check. Cat ready. Left alt 1. I don't know why it's not you. No, that is in use. That's really weird. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it is different. And then what was the shoot again? Left alt 2 or left alt 3 or something? Left alt 2. Got to rebind a few things on here as well. So, I think left alt G is the... Why is it giving me a wheels warning? They should be up. Yeah, they are. Flaps are up. Or should be up. Nope, they weren't quite. So, let's try left alt G, I think is the hook. Yes, it is. Need to rebind that as well. Now, my carrier landings are horrendous at the best of times, so don't be expecting much from this. Probably way too fast. There we go. I forgot my speed brake's the same on this as it is on the F-14. Oops. Yeah, that's that was interesting. Like I said, not real great with carriers.
G, place the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now in
G,
place.
turn on the ground power.
Copy.
Okay,
Ground power is now
turn
on.
that back off. Oh, I did the startup wrong. I jumped the gun a little with this. So you got it started in 3 stages. The ignition switch goes on till like about 10%, then it comes off. Then after that the throttle comes out of detent into the second detent. Then you let it wind up a bit more, then you come out of that through to your idle. Get rid of the ground part now.
Chief, turn off the ground power.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
That was interesting. Okay. What else do I need? I'll set my flaps to about half. Thanks for the follow. Let's try this again. Come on. Around you go. This thing turns on a dime. Let's get it lined up using the cheetah vision. Too bad the blast deflector doesn't come up. Oh god. That was not intentional, but okay. Okay, it works. It works. There we go. And flaps up, please. There we are. So I'll try that landing thing again. So we'll just pop the hook now. Come off the power, bit of back trim on. Maybe not that much back trim. Speed brake. Flaps. Probably a bit fast for them, but whatever. Gear. Yeah, that's a ground radar. Air to ground radar and terrain mapping. I'm coming in way too low, way too far out. Okay, power off. That is nowhere near. Nowhere the fuck near. I'm gonna go round. That's not a good approach. Yeah, no, I know, I'm not used to flying off angle of attack for landing because I'm not used to naval aviation. I just fly everything by kind of visual references, so when I see an approach that doesn't look good to me, whether or not that little mark is yellow, I can't mentally process it. Oh, no, flaps shouldn't be coming out too fast. Still too fast, but whatever. Okay, hook's still down. I feel like I'm too high. Okay. Power. See, now I'm coming in too high. So, just flare out at the last moment. Well, I caught something. Caught the 4-wire. Yeah, it's going to take some getting used to, and the AOA indicator doesn't read the way I thought it would. I don't know... Oops, Alt-G. I don't know why the hook's not clickable. You'd think it would be. It's a pretty big lever. I know I shouldn't be flaring for naval landings, but it's a habit I can't kick. Like I said, I don't do naval stuff. I flare on landing, no matter what I'm in. And that, like, there was no way I was going to make that approach otherwise, and if I hadn't flared, I would have probably smashed the landing gear. Well, I've got that mission file set up at least, so I can practice in this now. Let's see. Do another quick one in the... Oh, the radar. I've used that before, but I don't really know what to do with it, to be honest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into Spitfire quickly and just try out the dogfight again, because I want to be able to get used to handling this thing in DCS. Okay, make sure everything's set where it should be. Oh. Alright, catch you later. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for helping me set that up. So now I've got something else I can practice. I might do a bit on stream, might do some on my downtime as well. I've got to practice my Tomcat landings too, they're pretty atrocious. Leave my wingman alone, you monster. For some reason, the sounds are kind of glitchy. My cannons aren't, like they're firing, but they don't sound like they're firing. It's kind of weird. The ACLS, I haven't used the ACLS. I mean, I'm sure it's brilliant, but I don't trust things like that. Like, the MiG-21 can kind of sort of land itself as well, as can the Mirage, and I have not used any of the automatic landing systems in any of them. I prefer to be able to do it the good old-fashioned way, rather than rely on the computer. And I've just lost that 190. There he is. Gotta be real careful not to black myself out. It is so easy to do in the Spitfire. Oh, I've lost him again. So easy to lose sight of people. There he is. also risking overheating the engine by doing it. Just catch him on the way back down, maybe. Classic AI tactic. If he was in a jet, he'd be doing vertical loops, but because he doesn't have the energy to do it in the 190, he's just kind of porpoising up and then over to one side. The AI in DCS is really uncreative with its tactics. Really uncreative. Makes them very predictable. But a lot of players do this too, so I guess it is kind of good practice in a way. Now he's going to be against the sun here, which is not great. There we go, there we go. That's a better view. Getting a bit closer. He extends out on the downwards motion, but in the climb I'm slowly catching him. Just got to watch that engine. Merlin doesn't like being run like this for long periods. Ah, caught that! There we go. He's out of there. Not sure if I'm flying from an upper or if they're at an upper. So back to 2650 RPM, which is cruise. Maximum continuous cruise, so about 14 pounds of boost. Interestingly, I appear to have no radio comms. Yep. So that's a bit strange. Radio should be on, shouldn't it? Managed to bomb myself in the Biggin. I've done that. I did that in the Skyhawk actually, like the first or second time I flew it. I got a bit carried away. Well, Seagun, I don't understand the mechanics of the engine as well as you do, but I do have memorized the max continuous cruise settings for a Spitfire. You want to be at 2650 RPM and you run relatively high boost. High boost, low RPM for cruise, and high RPM, high boost for combat power. So you don't want to be running this puppy at 3000 RPM any longer than you have to, no matter what your boost setting is. I think takeoff is... Like, I usually just take off at max RPM, or, yeah, max RPM, because I'm lazy. But I think, technically, takeoff power is about 2800, 2850, something like that. I have to crack out my big book of Spitfires, because it's got all the speeds for the different marks of Spitfire listed in that. All of them. Spitfire by Alfred Price. If you haven't got it, and you can find a copy reasonably priced, I'm not sure if it's still in print, but it is one of my favourite books. It was bought for me as a present when I was 10 years old, and I cherish that book. There is pretty much no better source for anything and everything to do with the Spitfire, from its initial conception, through its introduction to service, its combat history in World War II, its combat history everywhere else, the various types of Spitfires, the variations, you know, the other roles that are less known, like the photo reconnaissance Spitfires, and the fact that one of the PR Spitfires was actually a personal runabout with a different wing platform. It was modified from I believe it was a world speed record attempt, so it had a different wing than any other Spitfire in existence. And I gotta find a Napa, which is around here somewhere. What can I say, dude? I love my Spits. Check temps. Yeah, she's pretty happy. Oil pressure's good. Now, riddle me this. The Spitfire module's been out for a couple of years now. There is no luminosity whatsoever on the instruments, as far as I can tell. So at night, you rely on the floodlight to see what you're doing. The Mustang, on the other hand, has luminous instruments, like the Spitfire should. I cannot work that one out. It's not even hard. It's like one texture. You literally add one texture. Well, two. One for the actual luminosity mask, and one for the actual, like, the color you want to use. But, yeah, it's like two textures. And maybe one or two lines of text in the Lua file for the cockpit textures. I think I may have gone past an upper. I'm not sure. I'm slightly lost. F10 map, save me. Yeah, I've gone past it. I need to do a 180. Put the safety on. Gun sight off. A working gun camera for this would be fucking phenomenal, like the MiG-15 has. I gotta figure out though how to turn off the actual on-screen display of the MiG-15's gun camera, because I don't really want that. I just want it saved to the file. I don't want to be seeing it in real time. I mean, it's cool that that's a feature, but I just personally would rather not have it turned on. That was interesting. I don't know why that happened. My pedals must have got jolted slightly. Now, in the interest of honesty, I've turned on 50% takeoff assistance, because with these pedals, I cannot get this thing on or off the ground without cartwheeling. I just can't do it. Even at 50%, it's difficult. So if I had some better rudder pedals and or more time to get used to it, I would turn that off. So what I'm going to do is, the more I fly the Spitfire and the more I get used to sort of preempting whatever horrific shit she's trying to do on the ground, I'll sort of wean myself off of that by turning it down. Okay, so I want to swing right to about my 1 o'clock. Probably on the other side of this hill, so I'm not going to see it yet, but it's over here. Hello? Hello, hello. How are you doing today? I've just shot down a pair of FW-190s and I am looking for an upper so I can go land. And, well, I say land, what I actually mean is probably provide, like, some really good entertainment for you guys. Why is my head position reset itself? There we go. That's interesting. Oh, God. Oh well, whatever. It's fixed now. Is it because I went into F10? No. Okay. Still a ways out. It's on the other side of this ridgeline. So as I come in on landing approach, I'm going to put the prop pitch to maybe not fully course, but pretty close to it, to get some more bite into the air, which will help me slow down more effectively, and it'll also give me more response if I need to go around, if I need to put on a sudden burst of power. So, unlike the FW-190, at least the later FW-190s that do all this for you, in the Spitfire you have to manually control both the prop pitch and the boost, like the actual engine power. So you got to kind of think in two channels there. Your prop pitch is how much it's biting into the air, so a fine pitch is better for cruise because there's less resistance against the engine. You know, the engine's not putting as much effort in, even though it might be actually running faster. Whereas the fully course pitch, it's really biting into the air. And you get much better power response, so that's for combat, but you also go through your fuel a lot faster and have more risk of overheating the engine. Props not usually what you see from... if I'd been streaming 5 or 10 years ago, it would have been all you see from me. I'm mostly sort of going back a couple of years, I mostly flew World War II stuff and some World War I stuff. It's only recently I've got into jets, which is why I still have a lot of trouble with things like missiles and radar. The main reason I've held off from flying the Spitfire and DCS is because the ground handling, combined with my broken pedals and general clumsiness, has not gone well. And I also had to set up my controls a bit, but I think I'm there now, so I'm going to put some power on. Well, put some pitch on. And we're going to come off the power. Apologies for the ears here in a second, but I need it so I can see a bit better. Unfortunately, in DCS you can't stick your head fully outside with the canopy back, like you can in most flight sims. I really wish you could. I really, truly wish you could. Yeah, and computers. Three-pointed, little bouncy, but no, there we go. Hey, there we go. Didn't even go off the runway. Yeah, I know you can wing walk in VR. I've seen people do it. It's pretty good. Kind of cheesy at times. Oh no, don't ground loop now. Oh, for fuck's sake. I actually think that rather than being an issue with the Spitfire's flight model, I think that might actually be a friction problem, because every aircraft in DCS has a friction problem. I'm not so much sure if it's set wrong for the aircraft or set wrong for the ground, but something is like seriously hokey with the ground friction in this game. But yeah, what a beauty. What an absolute beauty. Now, normally when you land a Spitfire, at least by the books, the old World War II way, you would have this half unlocked. So you'd have this half cocked, basically, so if you needed to, you could just yeet the thing open and pile out over the side. Also, you'll notice these little things on the wing are flap indicators. Flaps are pneumatic. When I drop them, up comes the little door. When I raise them, you can hear the hiss of the pneumatics, and that drops. Now, on the early Spitfires, like the Mark 1 and 2, instead of this bulge for the landing gear, that was... Actually, I think there was still a bulge, but it was a bit smaller. And you also had a little stick that would pop up out of the wing right here, so you could visually see if the landing gear was down. The Mark 9 doesn't have that. But yeah, so that is the Spitfire Mark 9. She's really pleasant in the air. It's just on the ground she's a bit of a handful. I kind of have a few issues with the way that ED have done the Spitfire. Like, there's not a lot of contrast in the cockpit, so for instance the footwells are as brightly lit as the instrument panel. So when it's quite dark out, like say bad weather, you can't see the instrument panel worth a damn, and you have to use the floodlights because the luminous paint isn't actually textured on, and it should be. There should be luminous paint on all of these. There's a couple of other minor things too, like the baked-on reflections. Like I said with the MiG-15, I hate baked-on reflections. There's no reason for them to be used in 2019. They look like shit. I mean, it's all well and good if you're flying with your head perfectly stationary, but if you're like me and you're ducking and weaving and looking over and under things and doing these ones all the time, it's really obvious and it's really obnoxious. And in certain lighting as well, it can make it very hard to see what's going on outside because the texture just covers it up. But, you know, other than that, the only other real thing I have is the view over the nose. People complain about this a lot. In fact, if you ask Schnarr why he doesn't fly the Spitfire, this is one of his reasons. You can't see over the nose. Like, if I turn the gun sight back on... If I turn the gun sight back on... There we go. As you can see, I have almost no clearance over the nose with the gun sight, and I can't just sit up taller because then the gun sight goes off the reflector glass. Now, the problem with this is that there's no refraction off this armoured plate. So this is about an inch of laminated glass, maybe a bit less, like something like half an inch or 3/4 of an inch of laminated glass. In real life, this would refract the light, so you would be able to see over the nose slightly better, right? Because it would do one of these ones where it goes in through the glass and then comes out like that. So you'd be able to see over the nose much better. But DCS doesn't model refraction, at least not as far as I can tell. And so you have a much worse view over the nose than you historically should. It does make high-angle deflection shots really difficult, much harder than they should be. As you may have noticed, I did get some good hits there at high deflection on those 190s, but they were under my nose. I couldn't see them, I was just guessing, basically. And that is a problem with the Spitfire. The MiG-21 has a similar issue, but not nearly as bad. So yeah, that is my Spitfire. I love this thing. I really love this thing. I really need to start flying it more in DCS. Anyway, let's jump out of that. Let's see if Cold War has been populated again. No, looks like it's still empty. That's a shame. Did have a good run on there earlier, though. I bagged, I think it was 2 F5s and a Viggen, I believe. Probably check Growling Sidewinders too. There's a lot of people in there though, so I think probably if I join that, I'm going to have issues with performance because I don't know if you guys saw what was in the patch notes, but there was absolutely nothing about engine changes or unfucking everything they broke in the last patch. So again, I don't know if this applies to you guys. My PC is quite old. and I am running DCS off a hard drive, not an SSD, so I'm kind of the worst hit anytime something fucks with the game performance. But in their attempts to fix the memory leaks that were related to texture loading and stuff, ED made some changes which took my texture load-in times from between 5 and 10 seconds to up to 1.5 minutes. And previously it wouldn't affect the game's performance while they were loading, I just couldn't see the textures. Now it freezes the game. So if I happen to pass an F-14 and the LOD switches on the textures, my game's frozen for half a minute. If I happen to fly too close to another aircraft, my game freezes. If I fly into an area of the map that hasn't fully pre-cached all its textures, I freeze. I've just been getting really bad stuttering, really bad freezes, and for me, it's made multiplayer basically unplayable, outside of quiet servers where I'm not really moving around much. So for instance, earlier on Cold War, I didn't really have any issues. I had 1 or 2 very minor freezes, but last time I tried to play on Growling Sidewinder server, it wasn't even that full. There was probably like 20, 30 people in there. And it was just freezing so badly, I just gave up. Totally gave up. Let's see, what can we do now? I kind of want to do something multiplayer, so let's see. Let's see if anyone's on Just Dogfight. I'm kind of jumping back and forth here. Sorry, guys. I didn't really have a plan for this stream. Me planning. I know, right? Good meme. Might not do that. Tell you what, we'll do another instant action. I feel like I might want to do the Su-25 because it's been a while since I've flown that, and I do want to kind of keep my skills. Well, I don't have many skills on that, but I do want to keep myself sharp on that. Play something other than DCS? Yeah, I will in a minute. If Ganex is up for it, I might play some Tarkov after this. But I just want to do a quick fly around in the Su-25. Broaden your horizons. I do play stuff other than DCS on stream, just DCS is my main game, because DCS is what most of my viewers seem to want to see. I had basically no regular viewers until I started playing DCS. All my channel growth has come from DCS, with a couple people from Stalker, and like 2 people from Tarkov maybe. So definitely DCS is kind of my home community. Boats? Oh Jesus. God no. But yeah, I do play other stuff. I just kind of prefer DCS for most streams. Alright, well that's okay. We can play it when you're a bit less tilted, I guess. To be fair, I'm probably too dopey at the moment to play it. I haven't been sleeping real well. Okay, so we got our rockets selected. We'll go bombs. And hope I can remember how to do this. Flight. Engage.
Звено. Атакуй цели по возможности.
Bruh. Bruh.
Обнаружена цель. Автотранспорт. 12 часов. Удаление 5. Второму. Атакуй цели по возможности. Второй. Понял.
There we go.
Второй. Работаю по земле. Второй. Наблюдаю воздушную цель. 12 часов.
Oops. The one time the bombs drop immediately, and I accidentally yeet all my rockets because I thought I had to hold the trigger. God damn it, and I didn't even hit any of them. There's nothing down there to shoot at me yet, gun. Except those Mi-24s, and they're guns only. I'll deal with them in a minute. They're mostly an annoyance, to be honest. There they are up there. I'm going to set up coming down the road, just to give me a better chance at hitting those. I should probably use the gun, to be honest, on the unarmed trucks, but the gun is a bit too precise. You need to be lined up perfectly, otherwise you're not going to hit anything. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Pretty sure I hit something there. Oh yeah. Let's deal with those hinds. I think I'm getting the hang of the dive bombing mode in the Viggen. I still need to get the hang of the Viggen in general, to be quite honest. I got the high-res textures for the cockpit, so now I can at least read the weapon selector. I don't know what it is ED did, but whatever, like, with regards to the cockpit textures, but for a while now, because my graphics settings are on high instead of maximum, the cockpits are all, like, mip-mapped to hell and back. I can't read any of the text on anything but the actual instruments themselves. The cockpit text is all fucked up. So, thanks again, ED. Okay, there they are. I'll get relatively close before I launch because they are hinds, they're full of flares. That's tracking the right helicopter, we'll go for left. Oh, he didn't even notice that one coming. He noticed. No hit. Okay, we should have the gun selected? Yeah, we do. So that one's going down. He's crash landing, he's not crashing, he's just crash landing. We got one truck left by the looks of it. Two is at least attacking targets for once. That's good to see. Bro, why are you using fucking missiles? It's an unarmed truck. Unless he's attacking something else, God knows where. Nope. Okay, well, to each their own. Yeah, no, I like the Viggen. It's just complex. Like, this is the thing, right? As far as systems go, as the pilot, not the rear, but as far as systems go for the pilot, the Tomcat's idiot-proof. As far as systems go for the pilot, the MiG-21 is idiot-proof. The Viggen, I actually have to do stuff. It's scary. These guys will shoot back, I think. Oh yeah, they're shooting back. Oop, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Am I good? I seem okay. Right, we're using, oh no, I got fire. Extinguisher's gone. Hydraulics are damaged. Oh, for fuck's sake. And she's rolling right. Let's assess the damage. I'm sure it'll buff right out. We're just gonna give up on that and go land. I think that might be a sign. I'll repair the aircraft and... Actually, no. I'll just land and then I'll restart the mission. We'll try again. You're not cool if you don't have speed holes in your plane? Yeah, I know, right? What I might do, actually, on the next one is I will come in guns on those trucks, even though it's a bit harder. I'll drop the bombs first, then I'll come in for a guns pass, so I can save my rockets for the scary, shooty things. I'm actually half tempted to just put this thing down in a field because I can't be bothered flying all the way back to Sakumi, but we'll do it. We'll head back to Sakumi. It's not all that far. Actually, I think Sanaki's even closer. Let me check. But Sanaki might be enemy help. Oh no, Sanaki's actually like... a bit closer, but not real great. So we'll go Sakumi. No, really, Gurn? Has it burnt out yet? Yeah, it's burnt out. It's just the, I think it was the center fuel tank. I gotta Got to put on some rudder here to counter the asymmetrical thrust. I'm only running off the left engine, the right engine shut down, because that was the one that was burning. Well, we can get rid of the gun sight, because we're not going to use it. To be fair, my wings aren't too well. There is a few holes in it. It's mostly the engine that's having a bad day. Do I have speed brakes? Yes, I do. On both wings. Good to know. So those work. My gear will probably work if they work. Yeah, there should be connects. Somebody's compiled it into a Excel spreadsheet, I think. I just can't remember where I saw it. It might be on the forums. Or it could... Actually, you know what? Chuck's guide probably has it, I reckon. Chuck would put that in a guide. That's the kind of thing he would put in there. I do still have a cannon. Where's 2? He was flying with me, sort of. Oh, he's behind me. Oops, wrong button. He's back there somewhere. Oh, there he is. Tell you what, flying low and slow over the ground really makes you appreciate the terrain in DCS much more. I will say the terrain could be a lot better than it is. It looks a lot better than Lock-On's terrain did. Like 2.5 looks enormously better than 1, but still, like the mountains are less jaggy, the hills are less jaggy, the trees look better, all of that, but there's still a lot of things that are kind of not quite there. Like the rivers and creeks are all very obviously kind of cookie cutter. You know, it's like the trench sections in RO2, you can tell they're just prefabs, they kind of stuck together. But it does look pretty nice. There is also a road tunnel somewhere here that I've seen a video of some madman flying a MiG-21 through. At, like, Mark 1. Fucking lunatic. I've seen people put Harriers through it too. I don't know where it is. Somewhere around here. It's like a full-on road tunnel, and you can actually go through it. I guess they did that because of Combined Arms. Speaking of which, I was messing around earlier. I did try out a Combined Arms, like, instant action. Oh, that was a fuel tank. Rest in peace. Right, we'll get rid of the lid. And we will drop our flaps. And we will aim to the right of this tree. Thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out of hydraulic pressure soon, so I need to hurry up and get this thing down. That is a very disconcerting noise. It's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Totally fine. I wonder if there's actually a fuel dump for this, because that's the problem. The fuel caught fire. Well, no, there was no fuel. I guess the engine caught fire? I don't know. The damage models on the... I think I ejected. Damage models on the FC3 aircraft are a bit wonky, to say the least. Power line show up nicely on the Viggen's radar. Nice. Okay, let's try that again. This time we'll be a little smarter about our weapon use. I've got to be careful as well I don't fly directly under the Mi-24s because they will shoot me with their guns and they hurt. They're 50 calibers, they really fucking hurt. The Su-25 is resistant to ground fire, but it is not resistant to getting hit multiple times by 50 cals at close range from above. That's not something that was in the design brief. Who would have thought? Okay, so we want... not that. We want this on. We want... not the rangefinder yet. I'll turn that on in a minute. I want my bombs. We will head up here. I think they managed to break ejection on the Viggen. You have the seat armed, right? Because I often forget to do that. The Viggen gets broken like every patch. I don't know why. It's the only module this happens to, but every single patch somehow breaks the Viggen.
Звено. Атакуй цели по возможности. Второй. Принял. Второй. Работаю по земле.
Wrong fucking weapon selected. I swear. No, I didn't. I have my rockets. Whatever. Didn't even hit anything. We'll restart again. Debated. It could also be the server you're on. Certain servers do weird stuff to the ejection sequence. Like Blue Flag, for instance, you don't separate from the seat, you just ride it all the way to hell. Because of the life system on there. I think DCS does the same, but I'm not sure. Okay. B. Bomber. Or Bombi, since I have fucking 2 of them. That's weird. Yeah, like I said though, something breaks on the Viggen every single time there is a patch. I do not know why. The Mirage usually gets broken too, but the Viggen is just like, how do they even break that? A lot of the problems it has are just like so confoundingly bizarre. We'll make our bombing run and then deal with telling 2 to attack these guys, otherwise it's going to be a shitfest. Do I have both of them? Yeah, I've got one left.
Звено. Атакуй цели по возможности.
I hit something, I think. I think I see smoke. I do love the Su-25. It's a really nice plane. I wish we had a full fidelity one. Like, I mean, the Su-25T is way more capable, obviously, and it's probably better for a lot of... well, it is definitely better for a lot of things, but I like the old school Su-25. I want my Afghanistan memes. Why is my bombs are still selected? No, it went to my rockets. What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna have to come in for another pass. So, the inboard most missiles, I think, are seed missiles. So they're anti-radiation missiles. I think. I could be wrong. Or they could just be normal guided missiles, but I can't figure out how to fire them. I've never been able to get them to work. R2 might deal with them. Shit, bad angle. Pretty sure they're laser guided. See, I tried laser guiding them, like the other ones. I think the A-25.
Hey, what are you doing?
I tried laser guiding them and it worked, but then the other ones, whatever they are, they didn't. Doing the same thing. Hey Jeff, I'm doing some Su-25 practice. You know, just keeping up to speed on the garage. Been doing a bit of everything today. Spitfire, MiG-21, MiG-15, Su-25. Missing something? I don't... Oh yeah, Skyhawk. I knew I was missing something. Okay. So, laser on. Break out. Just confirm I am on the bomb, yes. There we go, that's released. Now we're on laser, or not laser, on rockets. Is that a hit? I think it was. I see smoke. Yep, looks good. I think I got both. Never even loaded the Su-25. Yeah, see, I didn't for a long time, but I do play it now and then. I'm not real good with it. I'm not great at air to ground in general, but I do like the way it flies, and it's a cool plane. What do we do to convince you to get the Hornet during summer sale? You can convince someone to employ me for a decent hourly rate with tolerable work hours and conditions, and somewhere I can easily get to. That's what you can do to persuade me. I'm broke. I can't afford any of the stuff I want, let alone the Hornet, which I do want, just not as a priority. As it is, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to afford to get my new TrackIR clip, which is coming at a discount from what I was told by TrackIR. So, yeah, it's a bit precarious at the moment. What I'm going to do here is laser on. Bit too close.
Второй. Обнаружена цель. Автотранспорт. 12 часов. Удаление. Второй. 6. Обнаружена цель. Объект.
Oh, I haven't dealt with the helicopters yet. Let's do that. Yeah, if I can afford to pick up anything during the summer sale, it'll probably be the MiG-19, but I don't even know if that's going to go on sale, to be fair. It might be too new, module-wise. Ah, they saw it! They saw it! At least I got one. Did I get the other? Can't tell. Yeah, I think I only hit one. It looks like the other one's actually shooting at me. That's cute. Okay. So what I want to do... No, it's not. Oh, that sucks. Mind you, I'm on the Steam version, so maybe there'll be a Steam discount. Probably not. We'll see. In that case, who knows, I might not pick up anything. I really do need to save money at the moment, so probably shouldn't get too carried away with the spending on DCS stuff. Too close! Way too close. God damn it. By the time I'm actually aimed in where I need to be, I'm on top of the target and the missiles won't hit. Like, these things loft and top attack, so I've got to get some distance in, but... Okay, let's come around this way. Now the challenge is going to be seeing the fucking things from here. There's a smoke trail, that's 2. Coming around. There we go. Oh, come on, dude, it missed! I think it hit the laser's gimbal limits. I think that's what happened, I could be wrong. Oh, oh, we're frozen. We're frozen. Fucking DCS, man. I wish they'd actually fixed any of my issues in the patch, instead of doing a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't affect me at all. Oh shit. I just cannot get these things to go where I want them to. I'm gonna have to come around again. We'll do this with rockets, fuck it. Don't know what 2's up to, he should be attacking them as well. He's slacking! Slacking on the job, the lazy bastard. Oh, that ended poorly. Did I at least get them? One of them survived. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Did not go so well. I mean, at least I was killing stuff with the bombs, which is better than I usually get. What else should I do? See, I was going to play some Tarkov, but if it's too late for you to play Connects, I might leave that until maybe tomorrow or something. I won't do it today. Trying to think. You know what? Let's do... that's not what I want. Let's do some valley flying. It's been a while. Hopefully, deal with that in a minute. Hopefully, DCS won't freeze up while I'm actually in a valley. That would be very bad. Very, very fucking bad. None. It would probably be quicker to actually just set this up in the editor, you know, like a normal person, but... Be away. Oh, that's right, yeah, you're not going to be there. That's fine. Well, we can do it whenever, man. Just hit me up whenever. Time zones allowing. Okay, that should generate. Yes, there we go. Edit mission. Where is my F-14? Starts down here. Okay. We'll move it out here. We will go with... Let's see. Just tanks and sidewinders. Go with the VX9 skin, because that's, you know, fitting for this. Full internal fuel. Look how long these textures are taking to load. This is the problem. This is the issue I have now with the Tomcat. The textures take so fucking long to load. Whenever I taxi near one on the ground, or fly near one in the air, and the LOD switches, it just freezes my game like that, instant. Nothing I can do about it. And I don't even have to be looking at the Tomcat for it to happen. I just have to go near it, and it happens. It's really frustrating. Does this actually have a number? No, it doesn't. We won't bother changing it then. Right, so we got that. Okay. Yep, that is all well and good. Where are my weather settings? 21 degrees. No precipitation. We'll add autumn, clear sky. We'll add just a little bit of fog. Just a little. That should be good. Okay, we'll try that. Metashaders folder thing? No, I haven't. Is that going to affect the actual in-game texture quality? Like, I don't want my game to look like shit, I just don't want it to run like shit. And it's purely because of the way they've changed how textures load that it runs like shit. Line. Also, turning texture quality down probably isn't going to help. It's like, because then I'm not going to be able to see anything. Especially with how the MIP maps are loaded at the moment, it'll fuck up the cockpits really badly. Well, the problem the problem isn't cached stuff, the problem is that it's not caching stuff that it should be. Like, it's not preloading anything, and when it does, it purges it from the memory too early, I think. Just something they've done about the way that textures are loaded and handled has fucked me over, and it's only because of the patch. Before that, I had no issues. I'd get like micro freezes now and then as something loaded in, but it was like not an issue. Just gotta wait for DCS to load. How much memory and VRAM you have? I have 32 gigabytes of memory, and VRAM, I can't remember. I got a 1050 Ti, so however much that has. Like, I can run DCS at tolerable settings, and I should be able to run DCS at better settings than I can. It's just that ED are fucking doing God knows what. And instead of optimizing the game, they're somehow making it run worse every time they tinker with it. If they just left it alone, I wouldn't have any issues. Like, it's only since the patch that I've had problems at all. It's just something they've done in their efforts to chase down that memory leak that has made it worse, and it hasn't fixed the memory leak either, so why bother? What was the point? It's just this pointless exercise that's made the game run worse. One of the few times they do anything serious to the actual core game, which is mostly still legacy lock-on stuff, and they break it, instead of fixing our missiles, or fixing aircraft spotting, or fixing any of the other dozen things that need fixing urgently, which they have never touched. Yeah, see, I knew it wasn't going to be a top-of-the-line card, but I couldn't afford a top-of-the-line card, and DCS is pretty much the most graphically intensive thing I play anyway, so I wanted something that would run DCS passably. I wasn't looking for a card that will last for the next 20 years, or that is going to be super hot shit. I tend to always buy sort of middle-of-the-road parts, so that I don't have to worry about it being obsolete inside a year and suddenly wanting the next best thing. You know, if I get something that's already basically obsolete, it's like, well, it works well enough. There's no reason to replace it unless it breaks. I have not got the money or the patience or the knowledge of different manufacturers and stuff to be chasing the best part all the time, so I tend to stay away from that. I'm also notoriously bad for maintenance, so the less I have to worry about something, the happier I am. Which is why I don't overclock or anything. I would set my PC on fire if I did it, because I'm just not good with that. Alright. For some reason we still have the Skyhawk view there. Oh, your boy may have got carried away with the fog. May have got carried away with the fog. I might need to turn that down. I didn't realize it was going to be that thick. Okay. Fog. I think, yeah, I probably had that backwards. Let's just turn it down to like... Oh, that might be it. Dust and smoke. We'll get rid of that. I had a little bit of fog on last time I did this and it worked pretty well, so... We're gonna send it, don't worry. I just had to fix that. Otherwise, I would send it straight into a fucking mountainside, because I wouldn't be able to see where I was going. At least it's gonna load quicker now. Bro, what? Okay, actually, that's not bad. Hoping it doesn't freeze up here. It probably will, knowing my luck. Wonder if they fixed this thing's afterburners not showing up yet. Probably not. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. There we go. This song is just perfect for the F-14.
Hey, the sink rate is too high.
Oh, shut up, Chester. It's fine. It's a little stuttery. A lot more than it was last time I tried this. Go down this valley here on the right. Oh, don't freeze. There we go.
The sink rate is too high.
I'm gonna pull this plane over and throw him out in a minute. It's a shame I can't eject him from the front seat like he can eject me from his. Oops!
We've been hit!
I'm gonna blame the
Right
game
wing
freezing
damage.
for that. God damn it. Pulled too hard. That worked last time I did it. I can assure you it was much more impressive last time I did it. I think on that note though, I need some food and to go and go take a shower to wash off the shame of what I just did. So let's see who else is on. If you want to see me doing that successfully, by the way, there is a highlight saved. And it's also a bit later in the day, so the shadows are a bit more dramatic. But yeah. I had a bit of a micro freeze there, and combined with me pulling on the stick a bit hard, I ripped my wings. Also, a handy hint for you guys that are having trouble not ripping your wings in the Tomcat when you dogfight. The more they're swept, the more likely they are to rip. So if your wings have swept fully back, don't pull so hard. That's brought a lot of people unstuck. Normally I try not to end on me doing something embarrassing, but I am actually really fucking hungry. So, let's see who we got. I think I might send you guys on to CJ. Rightio. Only ever rip wings full forward. Most of the time when I've seen people rip them, it's been fully back. I don't know. I've still got to get used to flying it myself. I really do wish that the accelerometer was mounted higher up where it's actually visible, but oh well. There we go. Well, that aside, I think we got some decent stuff in today. Bit of everything, bit of Spitfire, bit of Skyhawk, bit of MiG-21, bit of MiG-15, so I finally got my control set up for that, so now I can do some Korean War stuff, if I can find a server that lets me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and hopefully over the next few days I'll be able to sledgehammer myself back into my usual cycle and be on more around my normal time. But it is good seeing people turn up this early in the morning. It's well, it's nearly 11 AM for me, but you know what I mean. Righto! Catch you later, guys.